And right now we want to move into another hot topic, and that is the current trending topic of the medical bill. As you might be aware, there's a bill that has passed the second reading in the House of Assembly, and that is the bill that medical doctors should practice for a minimum of 5 years before they leave the shores of this country. And this is part of the efforts to sort of see how we can control the huge migration of our very good hands into other countries. However, a lot of people have kicked against that, and we're just here to sort of sample the opinion of a very important professional. He is a public health physician. He's also the immediate past president of the Association of Resident Doctors, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Dr. Samuel Kirinde, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so first of all, I've always wanted to be a medical doctor. Unfortunately, I wrote JAM several times, and JAM jammed me.
Oh, sorry about that.
I was giving microbiology, so I studied microbiology. So just a bit close.
JAM also jammed me 5 times, but today I didn't give up. So I'm a doctor. I'm happy to be.
Amazing. So let's jump straight into it. What do you think of the bill?
Okay, let me start by saying I haven't seen the full content of the bill. But of course, the highlight is about let me use the word enslaving or holding back doctors from, young doctors particularly from going abroad until they've practiced for 5 years. Of course, to curtail the epidemics of the brain drain that we have, I think that is very laughable because the issues that's leading people to want to travel or want to jackpot, as we use, has those problems be solved? All right, if you think that is the solution to the problem, I think that's probably just going to worsen that problem and demotivate them from giving their best, actually.
Okay, so what do you think the solution would be? Okay,
the solution would be, what are the problems, all right, and why are they leaving? I would say there are 3 major reasons why people leave. The first one is personal reasons. A spouse wants to travel, maybe for studies, and then, of course, you can't leave your spouse. A doctor may go with that person. That's personal. Some people just want to leave the country that's personal. Then there's a professional reason why people go there. There are some trainings that you don't have in Nigeria. Residency, specialty you don't have. And they have to travel to get those skills. Of course, when they get those skills, then they come back. Those basically are professional reasons. And then there is a major one, which is the environmental factors, all right, which has to do with the country itself, the state of the country. Does the country actually have enough facilities to start with? Does that country actually take care of the workers, of the doctors? What is the state of the work environment of the doctors? What is their remuneration? Are they actually well compensated? Do they have welfare packages? Do they have equipment to work with? Do they have enough infrastructure to work with? So if you look at all of these things, are they secured? Now, that doctors have been maimed, killed while they are carrying out their duties, and there is nothing that has to do with taking care of the families they leave behind. So if you look at all of this problem, the question is, has the Nigerian government actually solved any of these things? I'll tell you, no.
No.
So if the solution to curbing brain drain based on some of these factors that we've talked about is to keep them down, it simply means that at the end of the day, you're going to have some set of doctors that will be demotivated and probably will start resigning, or will at best not give their best.
And that is very dangerous.
Oh, trust me, doctor that is not more current as it is right now. You see a doctor seeing hundreds of patients per day. There is a lot of burnout being recorded. You go to work by 8 o'clock. You see people doing calls almost back to back. By calls, I mean you resume work by 8 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, you close. And you start another call by that 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. You don't go back home. You start to work the next day.
Wow.
So you can see. So when people say they go to a public hospital and then the doctors are not smiling, how would they, when that doctor, for example, has been running a marathon shift? They're not going to give you the best. And this bill, I can tell you, will worsen that the situation that we currently have, which is the burnout situation.
And we definitely do not want demotivated doctors. One of the striking issues I think we've seen over the years is the fact that doctors are always going on strike. Constantly demanding for a better welfare, and still nothing has been done. There was a particular argument on social media that says that to study medicine and surgery for the entire 7 years in Nigeria, you spend maybe probably less than 2 million or 3 million, worst case scenario, for federal universities. And when you compare that to the education outside of the shores of this country is much more expensive. And some people would want to argue that since we have some sort of subsidized education in Nigeria, and since the government has trained doctors with such a minimal budget, that the least doctors could do is to be patriotic to their country and sort of stay longer. Well, what do you have to say to that argument, that it's cheaper to study medicine in Nigeria?
I also think it's a fallacy to think that every doctor who is in Nigeria actually went to a federal university. And by saying it's subsidized, I would say it's not only medicine that is subsidized. Every other person that goes to school, other profession, also got subsidized medication. So that argument, of course, is null and void. Number two, when people finish a course of 7 years, to start with, last year we had 8 months. Upper year we had about 7 months. So you end up spending what we call 7 plus X. You've seen people who go into study medicine and they spend 10 years. An average course in university is 4 years. So if someone that has gone to school twice, and when you come out, the outcome, you look at the salary that is being paid, you find out that it's almost like you've just wasted your time. So if the argument is about subsidy, that is no. I just want to quickly say something that instead of putting this bill forward, why can't we look at the problems and solve it? And I was having a discussion with people outside and said, this year we budgeted 6 trillion naira for subsidy. How much have we budgeted for health in the last 10 years or more? We have never budgeted up to 10% of our annual budget. So if the government can budget more, can take care of the welfare of the health workers, not just doctors, health workers, can make their work environment comfortable enough, can pay them. I mean, look at the government stuff that a lot of people kill to serve in political position. It simply means that offices are quite juicy. Can you make health profession quite motivating? And these are simple things. When you do that, I'm sure you won't need to bond them. People will naturally stay back and give in their best if those issues are sorted out.
I totally agree with you. The country, we're facing a lot of issues. Part of those issues is that we're in great debt. And it's almost as if there is no one sector that the government can put 100% attention, because while you're trying to concentrate on health, is infrastructure. While you're trying to concentrate on infrastructure, there's another aspect of the government that you need to, concentrate on. So how do you think we can have a middle ground? I think the demands of the doctors are very clear. They have been making these demands for a long time now. But with the current situation of things, with the deficits that we are running on in this nation, what do you think can be the middle ground? Because let's not forget, these people have the political power to actually enact this as a law. As a people, we have the power to kick against it, before it's being passed as a law. So with this current situation right now, we have the people on one side, we have the government officials on another side. How can we come to a middle ground? Okay,
so very, very important. There can be no development without proper investment in education and health. Development is directly linked to those two sectors. Education, if you invest massively in education, we are able to produce most of the things that we spend money importing. That indeed will help us. For health, if your people are not healthy, they can never be productive. If you don't have your people educated, now we're talking about a lot of Boko Haram. Those, if you look at them, a lot of those people are people who really has become like people who have actually not had access to education, and they become a how will I say, a bank for people like that to, a menace for people like that to recruit, and they become part of the Boko Haram. So if the government is not investing massively in education and also the health of these people, then of course we continue to be in the problem that we have. We won't have productive economy, and then, like I always want to say, we need political will. I think as Shane is, we also need to elect people. When we're having people coming to offices, we need to ask them, what are your plans? They need to categorically state what they have for those sectors, for health and for education, of course, while tackling other economic issues.
All right, thank you so very much, Dr. Samuel Okerinde. And we just hope that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. The state of our government hospitals is just sad. And then the private hospitals are so expensive. So there's a lot that needs to be done, and thank you for sharing your thoughts.